I can tell you whether you belong to the first category or the second. As long as you are under the sound of my voice, the Lord is transforming your life and taking you beyond where you ever imagined. I encourage you to leave the former and pitch your tent in the latter. Child of God, one place where wisdom can be accessed is the presence of the Lord. Wisdom can also be learned from the lives of those who walked with God. From the life of those who walked with God. Don't forget, child of God, we've compartmentalized it from verse 14 up to verse 17. So you should agree with me right now that we are not talking about earthly wisdom. We are not talking about sensual wisdom. We are not talking of natural wisdom, because all those kind of wisdom comes with limitation, right? You agree with me? They all come with limitation. Devilish wisdom all has limitation. So the wisdom we are talking about is the wisdom James described, which has to do with verse 16 and 17 of the book of James chapter 3. Divine wisdom, divine supernatural wisdom. So in case it's your first time, so I am predicating my ministration on divine wisdom. Divine wisdom. So divine wisdom can be gotten, can be learned, can be acquired from the lives of those who walked with God. From those who walked with God. From those who walked with God. From those who had gone ahead of us. They walked with God in spirit and truth, and they didn't disappoint their Father. They didn't disappoint the God of heaven. Child of God, they walked with God, and they ran their race to the end without spot nor wrinkle. We see example of them in the Bible. They run with God, and they didn't disappoint God. So we are meant to read, to study their life, and pray for such grace from God to God to release upon our lives. Child of God, this is so because walking with God is walking in wisdom. At the frequency of divine wisdom, men like Jacob, men like Solomon, at the frequency of divine wisdom, men like Joseph, at the frequency of divine wisdom, men like Esther, men like Daniel, men like Solomon, men like Paul the Apostle, we are made by divine wisdom. What made their life outstanding was because of divine wisdom. It's because of divine wisdom. The wisdom gotten from the Father. That one doesn't have any mixture. It is pure. It is undiluted. With that kind of wisdom alone, sensual, earthly, human wisdom comes under your feet. So you can run with it. So what I'm saying is this. It is possible to carry earthly wisdom, sensual wisdom, and be void of divine wisdom. But it is impossible to have divine wisdom and not have earthly, sensual, human wisdom. Are we together at all? It is impossible to have divine wisdom and not carry common sense. But it is very possible, as you see it all around our streets today, that you carry common wisdom, common sense, human wisdom, sensual, earthly wisdom, and lack divine wisdom. And that's why once in a while you act foolishly. That's why once in a while you fall. That's why once in a while you misbehave. The misbehaving, the falling, and acting foolishly within this context is not the normal mistakes that man can make. I'm talking of frailty as a result of not having enough volume of the Spirit of God in you. Because divine wisdom can only be gotten by your constant fellowshipping with the Holy Spirit. The more you fellowship with the Spirit, the more you have intercourse with the Spirit, the more your wisdom increases. The more wisdom you command, the more you talk to God, the more you study, the more you love fellowship, the more you listen to those that are ahead, that have gone ahead, the more you command correct wisdom. The reason you get offended at every rebuke that you encounter, for example, in church, and the first thought that comes to your mind is, I'm done with that church. You know the reason? It is because you lack a divine wisdom. You lack it. Because if you have sense, godly sense, you know that it is he that you love that you chastise. Because you don't want to spare the rod so that the child doesn't spoil. So when you see people get offended at their place of work And the next thing is, I want to resign. This job is too hard. And they don't have any other one. If you can I talk to you, they lack divine wisdom. So they operate, they live their life based on how they feel, how they think, what is happening around them, what people are saying around them. Because when it comes to divine wisdom, your life is predicated on the leading of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit enhances creating solution for you. The Holy Spirit brings about creating solution for every season you find yourself in a fix. That is what divine wisdom does.